Good day, my name is Paul Brinkhurst and welcome to the ESAT support videos. In this video we're going to look at setting up your site so that you are creating the staff and the programs that you need. You should already have received your license, that means signing the user agreement, and receiving a login password and username so that you can start this process. In order to start, make sure you are at the address shown, esat.futureworks.ca, and type in your username and password into the spaces provided. It's worth remembering that we recommend you use Chrome, Safari, or Firefox for this application. You may run into some difficulties on Microsoft browsers because of the security certificate. So go ahead and press User Login, and it'll take you to the front page. What you need to do to start off is to create some programs and add your staff. So let's start by clicking on Manage Staff. Creating staff is very simple. You need a unique username for them. So I'm going to put in Fred Flintstone. A password, I'm going to just use ESAT for now. Their full name, and an email address. We then have to decide what type of account this is. You have the choice of staff, counselor, site manager, or external assessor. Staff people are people who are linked to this, to learners in their capacity as instructors or administrative staff, but they don't have a case management role. So a staff person is asked to do observations, to input the observations into ESAT, and to participate in the assessment process. The counselor, on the other hand, also has responsibilities for managing when the assessments take place, and also for establishing a much deeper relationship with the learner so that they can have the conversations that are needed to understand behaviors and so forth. So you can think of the counselor as like a personal coach, if you like, or you can refer to them as case manager. The term we use, counselor, does not imply some sort of formal qualification. So let's make this a counselor. The other option, site manager, that would give them full access to these administrative functions as well. And last, there is the option of the external assessor. The external assessor is a type of staff. However, they are outside your organization, and so they are limited to only being able to see information that they've put into the system. So they can put notes in and they can see their own notes, but they can't see notes from anyone else. They'll also be able to put in the assessment information. Okay, so external assessors have limited access to the flow of information on a client, whereas regular staff see all the notes that are put in. Once you've selected that, you just simply hit Create Account, and that person will be added to the system. If we have a look, we should see Fred appearing. There he is. I can archive accounts by just selecting them and clicking on Archive Selected Accounts. And that will remove Fred's password. It will negate their email in the system, but it doesn't remove their name from the system because we want any notes that they put in to still be linked to that name. We also have a little feature here that allows you to convert a staff member to a counselor if you need to do that. We currently do not have a means of reversing that. So up here is where you will activate or find all the list of archived staff. So if I click on that, you can see there's lots of archived staff here, and I can select any of those and I can restore those accounts. You'll note that when they're archived, it puts this ZZ in front and it tells you that they're archived. That's all a process for ensuring that archived staff drop to the bottom of lists where they might appear in the program so that they're not interfering with your active staff list. Okay, so that's how you add staff. And you want to make sure you add all the staff in that are going to interact with your clients. Each client has to have at least one counselor, of course, or sorry, it has one counselor. Okay, so let's just go on to programs, manage programs. So this page shows you the programs that you've created and the skills that are linked to them. You'll notice that you don't have to have all the skills. This one has 3 skills. This one has 9 skills. You can have up to 12. So all you have to do if you want to create a new program is click on Add a Program, type in a program name, and identify which of the skills you want to be part of that program. Right? Minimum 3, maximum 12, and save. So typically what people do is they will create programs for cohorts. So if you have a group of people completing a program starting May the 16th, then you can call it the name of the program May 16th. At the end of that program, you could delete it, which you just do by highlighting and deleting. Okay, so once you've got your staff and programs in place, then you can ask the counselors to enter individual students. So let's just look at that too while we're here. So if I go to the learner list, learners on the menu, there are 2 learners in here at the moment. One I can tell that I'm the counselor for because I have these archive and delete buttons, and one I can see that I have access to them, but I'm not their counselor. If I want to add a new learner, it's very straightforward. I click on Add a Learner. I have to put in a username, a password. I'm using ESAT just so that I don't forget, but you'd obviously use a more special, a unique password. We put in their name, first name, last name. Make sure you get the spelling right. Okay. Here I'm going to identify the program, so all the programs that are available. Here I'm going to identify the counselor, so I'm going to choose myself. That's typically what happens. And then this is a list of all the staff associated with this license, and you want to make sure that you select yourself and anybody else who is meant to be interacting with this learner, and make sure that you include the site manager in this. In this case, the site manager myself is the counselor, so I've got myself covered off there. So at this stage, we're going to have 3 people involved. We can add a 4th. Right? So you just want to make sure that you've covered off all the people who are going to be providing inputs on that learner. And when you're done, we just click Save. And that adds the learner to the system. When you're finished a program and you want to delete the learner, you can either archive them or you can delete them. Archiving them puts them in a special list, and you can see that list over here if you are the site manager. And deleting them simply goes through the process, and it'll ask you several times whether you want to do this, but it will get rid of them from the system entirely, and so they're gone. Okay, and that's how you enter programs, staff, and learners in a new program that you're trying to run. Okay, thank you very much.